Welcome to the third and final programme of the TVKC Kart Masters. We've got the final 3 races for you today, and at the end of the show we'll take a look back at all the newly crowned GP plate winners. But first, let's kick off with a new class to Kart Masters, the Honda Cadets.
Absolutely brilliant to see the Honda Cadets here at the Kart Masters for the first time, the third of our Cadet races, and a healthy grid of 20 karts for this one. Look out at the back of the field for Kyle Petricka, who is in the number 7 kart and will start in 16th position. Here we are then, the lights have gone green and there's all sorts of muscling going on mid-pack, but it's the S car to Sandy Mitchell who leads across the start-finishing line. We have an onboard camera with Stephen Prentice, the 0 plate, the O plate winner for this year in Honda Cadets. And everyone just about manages to make their way through the first corner safely. A challenge for the lead of the race early on though from Ben Thompson, who puts himself ahead of Sandy Mitchell and opens the door also for the remaining cars to try and slide through, but I don't think that happened. No, the 13 car of Felix Meek did not manage to get through, so it is Mitchell in second spot. Here is the onboard camera from a not particularly great starting Stephen Prentice, and he was just staring at the back of Jack McCarthy in the 6 kart, who started on the front row of the grid, is lying in 3rd position. So over the line for the first time, we're going to have Ben Thompson leading in kart number 9, and then the S plate of Sandy Mitchell, then Jack McCarthy, and then the 0 plate there of Stephen Prentice. Quick look down the inside and a passing move from McCarthy opens the door for Prentice as well, but Prentice is going to be on the wrong side as they head towards hairpin 2. He decides to switch back to try and follow the 13 car of Felix Meek through, and that worked. So that was a very good piece of driving by Prentice to spot the opportunity. And again, like the Comas, like the WTPs, you really have to work together as a team in the Honda Cadets to get away from anyone else. The S car of Sandy Mitchell falling down. 5th position for Sandy already. Not a great start. And the one that's really on fire at the moment is Jack McCarthy, back into 2nd position after not particularly great start. Thompson leads again for another time. Prentice feels the need to go a little bit attacking and passes the 13 car of Felix Meek. So Meek was his friend a few corners ago when he followed him through, and now he's become the enemy and Prentice goes past. Loads of action still going on all the way through the field, and further back we go back on board with Prentice heading towards hairpin 2. Such as the vibrations on the kart that our onboard camera almost looks like it's underwater. Elliot Harvey is in the 37 kart that's not quite on touch with these front 4, but pretty close as Prentice runs a little bit wide going through the S's. Now through Bobby Game. Just see if he's going to make any sort of a move. It's pretty tricky around this section to find a way past without really compromising your speed, and that's what you've got to do in these cadets. You've got to make the move stick without slowing yourself down too much. Only 160cc 4-stroke engines, the sort of thing that powers your lawnmower, and therefore not a lot of power, but they're beautifully tweaked for kart racing. As we look outside of the top 4 positions, and that was Luke Wooder making a pass on Harry Howells for 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th is what we're now focusing on. At the back of that little gaggle is Miles Apps in the 88 kart. Front of it is Luke Wooder now. Even further back then. And not a very good day for Kyle Petricka. As I said, you've got to watch out for him in the we can't miss him really in that day glow green suit. He's not making as much progress as perhaps he should be doing. 16th he started after starting the pre-final in 9th spot, so he didn't have a particularly good pre-final, and it's not going massively well here in the grand final either. Oh, an airborne moment there for Elliot Harvey. Luckily got away with it, driving for Paul James's Ambition Motorsport team. And just bounced off the barriers and carried on. Fearless little chaps, these guys. 6th position now for Miles Apps in that 88 kart. And allowed Harry Wooder to get away, in fact. And poor Apps says, let's go and chase him, but he's got no one to help him to chase him, because they're too busy squabbling amongst themselves. Harry Howells moving back up in position to latch on to the back of Apps now. With Felix Meek also involved. In fact, is that Meek going wide? It is going very wide, and Gordon Much gets a face full of dirt, and once again he goes wide once more. So Meek starting in 4th position, having an absolutely dreadful couple of laps. Get his head down and he can start working again. So we go back on board with Prentice, who looks down the inside at the first corner, and I think he might have taken 1 position. He has, but Ben Thompson is still leading. So Prentice up to 2nd spot ahead of McCarthy, but the red-suited Ben Thompson, who reminds me very much of Tom Ingram, who used to race in this category. Well, was first, but now is 2nd, because Prentice from Scotland, from Hamilton, has decided to take advantage and take command of this race. He's not going to get away. He's not going to be able to drive away in 7 laps, so he's going to have to expect a lot of attention from Thompson behind, and Jack McCarthy, and also still there, Sandy Mitchell. Best in the heats, best in the first final. Pole position for this grand final, that meant. And now he sits in 4th at the back of the queue. Could be a wily old move. Here comes the 6 carts of Jack McCarthy into 2nd spot. Poor old Ben Thompson's had his time, I think. He's been at the front for a good few laps, but now he's down in 3rd spot. Still, Sandy Mitchell not deciding to make any sort of a move. This is very interesting strategy. Through hairpin 2. We've still got 6 laps remaining, so there's no rush. He's there and thereabouts. He can just help push the guys along. That British flag on Ben Thompson's helmet is, I think, why I think he looks like Tom Ingram, who is the Ginetta Junior champion. Change of the lead then, as it's Jack McCarthy who decides to have a go at the lead, but Mitchell decides to try and get straight back at him. Wasn't any room going through there. Now through the final S's, and look at that, he gets a better run. Then the nose cone just dips under the back bumper of the kart in front, and he pushes him all the way down the straight. Thompson was doing exactly the same thing, and in fact Sandy Mitchell wasn't able to keep up with their pace as a 3. You can see the head there of McCarthy just bobbing slightly back. Oh, and a bigger moment for McCarthy, and now they're 3 wide. Prentice says sorry. He's in the sandwich. He's got Thompson on the outside. In fact, is that Mitchell who's come all the way from 4th up to 1st? I think it was. Yeah, what a great opportunistic move from Mitchell, who could see the calamity going on further ahead. They were 3 wide for the lead, and Mitchell just took all 3 of them. It was McCarthy who sort of got a little bit of a nerve from Prentice going through turn 1. Not really a huge amount. It certainly wasn't on purpose from Prentice. He said sorry as they went outside the corner. But Thompson now down to 4th. Prentice lost a position, but Sandy, in fact, all 3 of them, apart from Sandy Mitchell, lost a position. Sandy went up 3, and everyone went down 1. But now they're going to work together, and 2 past, 3 past Mitchell, and Mitchell goes back to where he was before. Great to see this. Bit like NASCAR bump drafting. These guys really helping each other out. And then they'll all become enemies on the last lap. Massive defensive work. And it will be whoever is the canniest, who's got the real safe head on their shoulders, the brainiest. Not too hard to keep one of these 160cc 4-stroke karts on racing line. The hard bit is being at the right place at the right time at the front of the field. That is the battle for 5th and 6th, Luke Wooder, with Harry Howells in attendance, so they broke away from the battle further back. We go back on board with Prentice, who exits the final turn. Whereabouts is McCarthy? Well, McCarthy's on the outside, and McCarthy's gone from 1st to 4th. Right, 2 laps remaining. The problem is, it's Prentice's turn next time. Ben Thompson's back up to 2nd, Mitchell up to 3rd, and if they do the same as what they've done the last couple of laps, it'll be Prentice down to 4th, back of the queue. And in fact, at that rate, it will mean that Mitchell will end up in 1st spot. So it will have to be some serious defensive work from the man from Scotland, who already carries that 0 plate, the O plate, meaning that he won a one-off race, much like this for the Honda Cadets. That used to be held at Butmore Park. I'm not sure if he won it at Butmore Park. And then the S plate is the Scottish equivalent, which is carried by Sandy Mitchell. Right. Take a deep breath. We've got the final lap coming up for you of the Honda Cadets. Here we go. Prentice goes on the defensive. He's pushed along by Ben Thompson. And that helped them enough to stay on the inside line. He stays right to the inside, looks over his shoulder, sees what's going to happen on the outside line. On the best racing line comes Sandy Mitchell. but he's not got the momentum. He's opened the door, in fact, to McCarthy, who slides up the inside. Still defending is Stephen Prentice. He doesn't even give a centimetre on the inside of him for anyone to make a move, but now he's got trouble because Thompson looks to the inside, but he didn't get any help from McCarthy. And in fact, I think they've both compromised their exits. McCarthy runs wide. That allows Mitchell up the inside for third spot. But all the attention has been taken off Prentice. And Prentice has managed to hold on. Some expert driving in the early part of the lap from Prentice. He's going to come through the final 2 turns to add a GP plate to his O plate. I do not think anyone's going to get him. He has to do a bit of defensive work, but a great drive from Stephen Prentice. He's made that journey from Scotland worthwhile. He defends from Ben Thompson and takes a victory by 0.09 of a second. That's the biggest victory gap in the cadet racing here at the Kart Masters. Such has been the competition.
It went quite well. Made up a couple of places at the start, and then it just went on from there.
On the first few laps, I thought it would be good to get to the front and try and get pushed away by Jack and Stephen, and then at the end, hopefully, we'd be able to battle it out to find out who wins.
It was very hard and very close, but luckily I got first.